Hi, my name is Joantho Moshiri and I'm a career coach. Welcome back to my 20 days to Christmas videos. We are 11 days to Christmas and I'm looking forward to making more videos that are going to inspire you. Today I want us to talk about imposter syndrome, and it's one of the things that I hope we are going to leave behind in 2020. I'm sure some of us might have heard the word imposter syndrome. Some of us might be suffering from imposter syndrome, but we don't know that we are suffering from it. And so I just want to, define what imposter syndrome is and what some of the characteristics of imposter syndrome are, and what are some of the dangers of having imposter syndrome. So imposter syndrome is a psychological pattern in which an individual doubts their strengths, their capabilities, their achievements, and basically the value that they bring to an organization. And they doubt themselves so much that they live in a constant fear that they're going to be discovered as a fraud. So you could be this person who is so talented, so gifted, and someone who brings so much value in the organization, but you doubt yourself so much and you don't feel like, what you've done or your successes are anything to write home about. And so, you belittle your successes, you belittle the value, you belittle your strengths, your accomplishments, and your achievements. And most people who suffer from imposter syndrome really end up doing injustice to their careers. So what are some of the characteristics of imposter syndrome? And maybe when I mention them, you'll be able to see whether you fall in, in this category. So, you really doubt yourself, you really doubt your strengths, your capabilities, your achievements. And when somebody, even commends you for the good work, you'll say something like, I thought it's just normal, that's nothing. And, you want to belittle the things that you have done. So you have an inability to accurately assess the value that you bring to an organization. And then, so you'd say that you've been successful because of a training that you've gotten, or you're successful because of any other external factor, and you will not want to take credit for the things that you have done. And so, you'll do things like you'll berate your performance. Then you'll also sometimes you put such unrealistic expectations of yourself, and that's why you can't even recognize, when you have done, when you have accomplished something, because already you've set such, unrealistic and very high standards of yourself. And then people who suffer from imposter syndrome also end up sabotaging themselves and their success, because then, they just, they cannot believe that they are capable and they can bring value to an organization. So what are the dangers of imposter syndrome? Because this is one of the things that I would really want us to live in 2020. And so I just want to talk about some of the dangers, especially as far as your career is concerned. So we've said that people who suffer from imposter syndrome, you will doubt your capabilities and your value. And even when you're congratulated, you don't want to take, credit for what you've done. And you'll say that success was because of even other people. You'll even want to give other people credit. And actually, it's you who did the work. So what are the dangers of imposter syndrome? And the first one that I've actually seen a lot is low pay. There are so many people who are being paid way below what their worth is. Reason being, they just agreed to settle for less. And so you'll find two people, say, they cleared campus the same time. They have the same level of experience, but one is earning half the salary, and, the other person is probably earning 2 times or 3 times more. And most of the people who end up getting underpaid are people who suffer from imposter syndrome, because they will never ask for a pay raise. Maybe during the interview, the people saw value in you, but you did not see any value in yourself, and whatever they gave you, you agreed, and maybe that's not what the value was. So you end up constantly being underpaid and being at a range that is way lower than your peers, which is something that is very sad. And then the other thing is career stagnation, because of the fear of you doubt yourself. and then you have this fear of failing. So you're not going to try anything new. You will not try and apply for another job. You will not try and get a promotion. You will not try and, like even get any kind of training because you don't want to fail at anything. So people who suffer from imposter syndrome end up, stagnated in their career because you have this fear of failing. And then the other thing is, woe unto you if you find yourself in the hands of employers who are not good people, because they'll end up abusing you. So you'll be in a work environment that is toxic. This, your employer could see that, there's so much value that you're bringing, and there's so much, you do for the organization. But because they also know that you don't value yourself, they'll abuse you and they'll overwork you and they will pay you, peanuts, which of course is not a good thing. And that's why sometimes people who suffer from imposter syndrome, they will end up, they want to overwork or they want to go over and above. So these are the people who will be in the office from Sunday to Sunday, trying to, because they feel like they need to work so much to, to earn their stripes and to earn their value, all along not realizing that they are actually very valuable to the organization. So sometimes employers, bad people will end up taking advantage of you. And, and this is so sad, because then you might find yourself even getting sick. So getting high blood pressure and getting ulcers or getting panic attacks, all because of the pressure that you put on yourself. And then, of course, you won't end up living a full life, because people who suffer from imposter syndrome also it's like you need external validation. So you do not realize that you are good and you're capable and you're worthy. It's like you need other people to validate you and validate your successes. So imposter syndrome is something that is dangerous for an individual. It's dangerous for, your career, and it's also dangerous in your, overall well-being. So if I've mentioned something and, you feel you've identified with any one of them, it's not the end of the road. We are going to, I'll be back again to just talk about some of the things that you can do to deal with imposter syndrome. That is all that I had for today. I hope this video has been beneficial. Thank you, and see you next time.